Family travel doesn't need to be expensive. Today, I'm going to show you 7 Google Flight secrets that we use to book cheap flights for our family. And you can do it too to save money because Google Flights are important and super powerful and useful to be able to use. So hit that like button if you enjoy budget traveling for families and be sure to watch the whole video through. So our number one biggest question, right? Often what we think of, what is the cheapest option? Is it round trip? Is it one way? Or is it a multi-city? And to be honest, most people think it's the round trip, but it's often not. It's the multi-city. And then when you're flying in with multi-city and you're adding in the long city layovers, that can be a much cheaper option. Be open to changing your arrival or departure dates to find more affordable fares and turn on the nearby airports option because that is so important to be flexible when trying to save as much money as possible for your airlines. You can also mix up your airlines. Depart on one airline and then arrive back home on your other separate airline. And when you do that and you use your different airlines, sometimes this trick can save you $200 to $300 per trip just by mixing it up and using 2 different airlines on the same vacation because they're going to offer different prices. So keeping that in mind. So our trick number 2, our second secret is your airline that you choose actually matters, okay? Why? Because your ticket type and what's included is going to fluctuate between each airline. Whether it's refundable, changeable, upgradable, it includes your baggage size allowance, and weight, and how many bags you can have. All are going to differ. Now, usually it's the same sort of metrics. It might not differ too much, but these small little things can make a big difference. So in the US, the airlines that families usually can get the most freedom with are the ones with no change fees for economy tickets, an easy 24-hour cancellation, and clear refundable fare options. These stand out as Southwest, Alaska, JetBlue, and the big 3, Delta, United, and American Airlines. And as long as you avoid their super restricted like base fares, it's flexible. If flexibility is your love language, Southwest would be a top pick. There's no change fees, super easy cancellations, and usually your money will turn into a credit instead of just disappearing if you need to change things. So still include your 2 free checked bags, which is a huge one for families. So Southwest is definitely a airline that you need to look into. So with Delta, United, and American, the trick is to not buy the basic economy. If you buy regular main cabin or higher, you usually get your free changes without any hassle or issues. You can also cancel for a credit and reuse it. Usually it's within a 12-month period or a year within the credit date. You also are going to get better upgrade options. Now, Alaska and JetBlue also have a solid for flexibility as long as you skip their Saver or their Blue basic fares. Their regular economy tickets usually let you change or cancel with no extra fee. Just note, budget airlines usually do not offer as much ticket flexibility. So keeping that in mind when you're trying to save money, you're going to need to weigh out the pros and cons of how much you want to save, what your cheapest, lowest price is versus how much flexibility you want to be able to have with that ticket you're buying. So almost every US airline now has the budget basic fare, okay? The basic economy, your Saver, your Blue basics, and whatnot. There's many more out there. Those are cheap up front, but usually they don't let you change, they don't refund very easily, and they're harder to upgrade, and nobody wants to be stuck in that customer service like phone calls trying to get what you need out of your tickets. So for families, sometimes it's easier if you pay a little bit more for the regular economy ticket and you buy back your flexibility. So from our experience in the US, most of the flexible airlines for families are, I'm going to say Air France for flying to Europe. Air France has been phenomenal for pricing, okay? That is the lowest prices that we can usually get flying from the US to Europe is through Air France. So check that out if you're going to Europe. Other than that is Southwest, Alaska and JetBlue on their regular fares, Delta, United, and American, but only if you avoid the basic economy. And then you have your ultra low cost carriers like Sprint and Frontier, which are usually the least flexible, but it's the most budget friendly. And if you are traveling in Europe from one country to another, use Wizz Air. Just know that sometimes your bags aren't fully included. So just keeping that in mind for your budget airlines. And if you're a busy parent who wants to make packing easier, don't forget to grab my free packing list from the pinned comments below, and be sure to leave a comment because it really helps me out. Tip number 3, our big saver number 3, right, is to use your Google Explore map when you're looking for your tickets, okay? Instead of searching for like a specific city, you can search for an entire state, country, or even continent, or the whole world, okay? You're gonna find the best prices nearby. And you would be surprised with how many budget-friendly and affordable destinations when you're searching this way. And we personally picked a destination to travel to just based on this method, not because it was on our list, but because it was the cheapest option in that season that we were going to. And we got the most bang for our buck. So be flexible with it and have some fun. You might end up loving that country, okay? So this trick works for searching anywhere in the world, okay? You can easily zoom around the map and you can find your cheapest options available. If you set your dates in this mode, and you can keep it truly on like a flexible method for searching for your flights, okay? If you add filters like your one stop, your bags, and your flight times using the Explore map, okay? This is gonna be your best one. So your tip, if you search in incognito mode, it's gonna help minimize the price rise of you searching frequently. Shocking how often Paris can be as low as $600, but Brussels will be $350. And then you can take a 1-hour train for $40. So you want to go to Paris, but the ticket to Brussels is half the cost, and then you can just take a $40 train to get to your actual destination. That's still significant savings. You're talking at least $200 in savings. So this is great for keeping your budget friendly, adventure flexible. Number 4, you want to turn on your track prices months before you have set school breaks, okay? Because families traveling get hit hardest during those months. So you're talking spring break, Thanksgiving break, Christmas, and New Year's, and then your June to August summer chunk. So you want to turn your price tracker on months before any of these are coming. Your Google Flights price tracker will send you alerts at the moment that the price is going to drop for those seasonal spikes. And here's your tip. Use multiple date ranges, not just one. So, right, for example, spring break weekend 1, spring break weekend 2, Christmas break 1, Christmas break 2, midweek spring breakation option, okay? So that you're not only looking at that set week, you have a few set options for that specific period you want to go for, okay? This multiplies your chance of catching your rates dropping. So number 5, flexibility in dates. Most families travel weekend to weekend, and those are the most expensive dates to do this, okay? Look at Google's flight calendars and remember, Thursday departures and Mondays and Tuesdays returns. These are going to drop your prices dramatically, but it's still going to allow your kids to miss minimal school and parents to minimal PTO days, right? So you're keeping as many as you can, but you're squeezing in that weekend, but also doing it affordably. So a Thursday through Monday or a Friday through Monday trip can sometimes be the difference of a 20 to 30% cheaper, more affordable, budget-friendly vacation or holiday. And using your calendar view, this is great to display the prices as like a full month on a single page, and it's going to show your flexibility. You can switch between your date grid and your price graph. And remember, you need to set your filters. But the more filters that you set, the less flexibility you're going to have. And in return, you could miss out on a great price deal. So don't set too many filters because you're going to possibly miss out something good. So number 6 for your Google Flight Saver, okay, is your layovers versus your stopovers, okay? A layover is your amount of time between each plane ride at your airport versus a stopover, which is when you are going to be staying in a city for longer than 24 hours between you catch the next flight. This can actually be one of the most affordable ways to fly, especially using Google Flights. This is going to be extremely budget friendly and the cheapest option for flying with families. But this is when you need your multi-city function in Google Flights, and this is when it becomes super useful, but it does take you being more flexible. So let's say you're going from point A to point B, but in the middle, you need to stop in Amsterdam in Europe before you go to Romania, right? Just random, I don't know, okay? Well, you have a 24-hour, 48-hour flight. Enjoy Amsterdam for 2 days or a day, and then you can go and you've actually gotten 2 destinations done at a cheaper cost. So it's really, really worth that flexibility there to save your money. And Google Flights is really great to be able to see all your different options right in front of you to be flexible. Now, number 7, don't ignore the airline filter, okay? This is also great for kids. So you wanna filter out, right, if you're having the kids, ultra low cost airlines, your red eye flights, your tiny regional jets, okay? Because sometimes saving $40 isn't always worth it. Now, I'm into saving big. I want everybody to travel affordably, but I don't also want parents to be miserable for $15, right, of a price difference. So maybe 1 a.m. departures with toddlers is not a great idea for your family. Maybe 2 to 3 layovers is not great, and maybe no seat assignments isn't great. Now, keep in mind, not having your seat assignments is not necessarily a make or break, okay? So don't always pay extra for seat assignments. We used to, we don't anymore, because usually when you book together, it's going to see that there's a bunch of minors with adults, and it's going to automatically group you together, especially if you're going to Europe and Asia, okay? So just keeping that in mind, not always worth to buy that. Now, Google Flights also lets you set filters for your nonstops, your red eyes, your minimum layover time, and also your maximum layover time. So again, this is when you get to really control your destination and your flight, but keeping in mind that the more filters that you have, the less flexibility you have, and you could miss a great deal. So while all these options are extremely wonderful for Google Flights searching, just know that don't put so many filters when you're doing this for the perfect flight that you end up paying a lot and you miss that golden nugget steal of a flight for your family to travel affordably. So this is going to also save you sanity and money by avoiding like your rebooking nightmares between all of these stops, okay? So here's a bonus tip, okay? Track flights from each parent's phone. This doubles your alerts, okay? Price alerts trigger sometimes at different times. And so if both adults have it on their phones, each person's gonna get the alert, one maybe sooner than the other, and maybe one glitched and one got the alert and the other one didn't even go off at all and you didn't know about it. And it's been too long and now that deal is gone. Sometimes, right? It's electronics, things miss. So you can catch the dips faster if you set all the adults to have the same price alerts. That is the best way to do this. This is a real secret that many frequent travelers like ours actually use. So there you have it. Here's your 7 secrets for using Google Flights to book cheap flights for your family. This is the system that I use still today to travel while raising 4 kids and working. If you want to build a lifestyle of travel without needing to be rich that gives you and unlocks ultimate freedom, not just expenses, then leave a comment and grab our family packing list from the pinned comment below. And until next time, see ya.